Yes. It's another beautiful evening. Welcome. It's a good day. Still in Rwanda, the land of 1,000 hills. It's yours truly, Michael Kimathi, or MK if you want. Still covering Africa tech ecosystem all the way. These Africa's Talking podcasts, well known as Retort Podcasts, in collaboration with Impact Masters Podcasts. Africa's Talking will provide USSD, airtime, SMS, and voice. And you can find all these products at africastalking.com. Providing developer APIs across 54 countries in Africa and beyond. Running top 1% community of developers across the world. You can find our community at community.ilarian.com/africastalking. And it's open for everyone to join. Our hackathons are going on in 8 countries. And every Thursday of the month, you'll find us in Nairobi hosting these hackathons. Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania. In partnership with TADAC, our close partner, TADAC Global. Working closely with Mozilla, among as many other companies, to reach the next mile of developers. When you talk about developer impact across Africa, we mean business. And welcome again, telling the stories that matter of movers and shakers in tech without leaving anyone behind. Welcome you to join in our conversation through Twitter Space Live. And you get this podcast in all channels: Google Podcasts, iTunes Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, amongst any other podcast out there. Look for Africa's Talking Retort Podcasts or Impact Masters Media Podcasts. On YouTube, it's YouTube Africa's Talking or Impact Masters Media. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. Listen to the stories that matter, that will improve your life. Thank you so much. Beautiful day. And today we are joined by one and only, the man himself, Victor Abedi. Victor Abedi has been my longtime friend, a guy I've known for some time, since the days he was starting up until today. And today we are going to tell his story as a mover and shaker in tech across Africa, and what really matters and how can we really change Africa through tech. But before then, Abedi is experienced site reliability engineer with 7+ years of experience and demonstrated history of working and building resiliency in production systems, distributed systems, and building at scale with security and optimization in mind. He practices DevOps and building backend application using Spring Boot, Java, and multi-cloud services, Azure, AWS, and GCP, and he helps architect on cloud and come up with SLO and SLI to ensure systems are always running optimally, releasing, engineering, and designing systems. Abedi, how are you, Chief?
Yes. Hi, Mike. How are you? That was a long as description. But Asante sana, happy to be here.
Yes. You know, for us, we just keep it raw. It's more of raw conversation, telling our own stories, trying to make sure that everyone who is listening, they know who we are, why we are, and we can't tell an African man's story without knowing who they are, right? And mostly, we find most of the people telling, their story in brief, and also even other media come in, tell stories in brief. You and I know most of these fund companies, tech companies. Now, most of the serious engineers are based in Africa, but this is not told, well enough or enough times to make any impact. So for us, this podcast we started by showcasing some of these stories because I myself have been in the ecosystem. I've seen the transition, and I know we can do more. Kenya is one of the examples. Today we're in Kigali, Rwanda.
Yep.
And this is also one of the examples of like it can be done. Yeah. So
For sure.
ensuring that we're telling these stories is one step towards the right direction. So, Chief, you have worked for so many amazing, impactful companies across the world. Disneyland, amongst many others. But before we go there, we would like to hear who is Abedi from day zero. Before the Abedi we know, before the Victor Senior Engineer.
Yeah.
Yes. Please tell us about Abedi. Where did you grow up, Kaka?
Yeah, I grew up in Umoja in Nairobi. So I grew up in the not really suburbs.
Yeah.
They call it mid-level class ghetto of Nairobi.
Yeah.
In Umoja. Actually, no. I can't remember. So growing up, I grew up in Kibera. And then my parents moved us to Umoja, where I think I lived, most of my teenage life before having to go into boarding school. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, all right. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, the chief director here is interrupting our session. Please go on, Abedi.
Yeah, Mike. So, like I mentioned, I grew up in Umoja. Later on, moved to Ongwaro and then back to Umoja.
Yeah.
But yeah, I basically grew up in the beautiful city of Nairobi, and that's pretty much the city that defines who I am right now.
Kaka. Victor Abedi.
Yes.
So, and this is actually something I've realized with so many people that they like brushing off.
Yeah.
I grew up in Umoja, went to Ngwaro, went back to Umoja, and that's where I grew up. No. Sometimes most of these experiences of growing up in these places makes us who we are.
Definitely.
And if you think about Umoja, Umoja was one of the poshy estates until, lately.
Yeah.
Right? Same as Buruburu.
Actually, yes.
Sure. But so many people who move there, they don't know these things. And it's always good to share some of these things. I don't know if you used to live in Umoja when it was Umoja.
I actually lived in Umoja when it was Umoja. Your time tulikuwa na Mtindwa.
Oh, there was Mtindwa there.
Mtindwa, and I think Mtindwa is no longer there anymore. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was Umoja inner core, and life was all about living for survival. Honestly, I did not have to struggle growing up.
Yeah.
I feel like my parents removed the stress of having to do that. But yeah, honestly, I think that humble background also kind of humbled me even where I am right now, because getting to know where you're from ideally gives you that definition of who you are right now. Yeah.
So what was the experience of growing in Umoja back in the day?
Growing up in Umoja was, I'll say, simple. Honestly, there was nothing much. All you could do is, wake up, go to school, back home, over the weekends, catch up with your friends, play in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Those brick and mortar games, yeah.
Yeah,
So, swings, you will tie up ropes in the stairway and use that to swing.
Yeah.
I remember I even used to climb the stairway anytime because
Yeah.
my dad used to be very strict when we were growing up. So playing was never part of his sort of entertainment. Yeah. So if you hear, when your friends is like, I've seen your father, like Vicky Baba yako, the first thing you think of is to run away.
Yeah.
Get to the house and behave like you never left the house. So yeah, that was really growing up for us. Yeah.
Yeah. So was it strict that you should be more focusing with books or more focusing with house chores, or why was it strict? Just staying in the house, or?
Not really. I mean, there was time to play for sure. I mean, the way they say, work without play makes you dull. Yeah. So my dad was open for playing, but then there were limits for how long you could play.
Yeah.
Being a kid, to other people, guys were let out to play until late in the night. But for us, it was, if you're going to play, you step out for 2 hours and just ensure you're back before curfew. Because if you meet him in the house after curfew, it's going to be another story. But I feel like for him, it was, you can have fun, but have limits. And I think even right now, growing up, now that I'm not even stay at home, it's I can actually go out and do things, but I still have that reservation of, okay, I have to do it, but I love to do it up to a particular limit. So yeah, that was really about it.
So that's one of the things that you learned when you were young, and
Yes.
it helped you in the whole years or later years.
Exactly.
In your life. But at that age, did you really think that, or did you find your dad strict, as you said, and you could not understand why does he require you to have certain schedule?
Well, again, being a boy,
Yeah.
it was more like, I feel like there's this thing people talk about, acting your age, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So at that particular time, it was more like, my dad is strict. Yeah, I'm living under his roof. I have to be obedient.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you want to create chaos or mayhem in the house, just do the opposite. But yeah, I mean, just growing up in that particular environment, honestly, I did feel like he was kind of stepping into my environment as a kid. But then now looking back, I feel like this was actually maybe meant to culture me to become a particular way or actually act in a particular manner.
Oh, very nice, very nice. So you did your primary school in Umoja and Kawangware.
Yes, I went to in Umoja. I schooled in what's the school called again? Busara. I went to Busara Primary School. Na kulikuanga na used to have those guys for first border. The big guys of the class, yeah. So ideally, if you're a first border, people will respect you. Yeah. But I think due to adolescence and many other things, other additional factors, we had to move from Umoja and move into Kawangware. And at that particular time, I had to shift classes, yeah? Because even parents, again, I think anybody who grew up in Nairobi around that time, anything between 2004 all the way to 2006, our parents used to move a lot. It will be, actually, I'll find it weird if you stayed in one neighborhood, if you're living in Nairobi, yeah?
Throughout the
That
primary
particular
school
time, yes.
Yeah.
So we did move from Umoja. We went to Kawangware, and at this particular time, I had to shift schools too. So my dad took me to one of the good schools actually. Yeah? So I went to Milimani Primary School in Kilimani.
Yeah.
Actually, right now it's a suburb, by itself.
Yeah. By then it wasn't.
It was.
Or it was just coming
actually.
up?
It was coming up.
Okay.
Yeah. I do remember my escapades in Milimani Primary School for sure. And yeah, that was fun until we had to come back again to Umoja, which meant now again changing schools. So I did move to that school called Donholm Primary. Yeah. And
This is still in primary, right?
This is still primary, yeah. So there's things like class 6.
Yeah.
And then my adolescence kicked in, yeah. And I think my class teacher did report this to my dad, and my dad was like, "It's about time we need to move you to a boarding school
So when you talk about adolescence, you start becoming big-headed. You can't be taught anything.
Of course. And then growing up in Umoja, yeah, now you're becoming we call it kuwa mrui, yeah, like you want to take charge
Become
of
hardcore,
exactly, yeah. So
nowadays they call I don't know if it's shembeteng or something, umauru.
Yeah, there were that definitely, and I will tell you for sure, at that particular time, if I wasn't moved with my parents to a boarding school, I would probably end up being one of those street kids. Not really street kids, but those street gangsters, because that's what the environment that we were in was actually pushing us into. So the fact that our parents saw that way in advance and they chose to move us to boarding school, honestly, that was a blessing by itself. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And then did you realize they're doing something to help you, or you still feeling like, my parents are a bit strict, they don't care about me that much,
Well, it did happen. The funny thing, my brother actually went to boarding school way in advance.
Okay.
Yeah. So a year before me.
Yeah.
And at this point in time, my dad is preparing me. He's telling me, from next year, you're going to a boarding school.
Yeah.
I think my bro also kind of lied to me. Again, the boarding school that we were going to was not in Nairobi.
Oh.
So this boarding school was in Homa Bay, in a place called Oyugis.
Oyugis, yeah.
Yes,
I know
yes,
Oyugis.
yes.
I think we have a passed Oyugis.
Yes, we have actually. To Agoro Sare, yes, on your way to Kisii. So I went to a boarding school called Ober Boys Boarding School. And at that particular time, before I even joined the boarding school, my bro had lied to me that they have a swimming pool in school. Yeah. Yeah, so I knew,
this is your big bro or small
my
bro?
big bro,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm like, wait a minute, what am I even doing in Nairobi? Because Nairobi, it's just about acting gangster and going to school and adolescence.
Yeah.
And he did sell that vision to me, honestly. I knew I was going to heaven, yeah? Where there's no dad, there's no mom to control me.
Yeah.
Kuna swimming pool, I can swim all I want. I can go to class when I want. And I think this time here, there's this popular magazine that actually come out, Insider.
The Insider.
The Insider had just come out, and also, what's this other one called? There used to be this magazine called Shujaz. And they had partnered with a show called Club Kiboko, KTN. So I was featured, and my bro took the magazine to the boarding school.
So you're already a celeb there.
Sasa huko, yes, when I'm going to school, by the time I'm arriving in the school, everybody's expecting a celebrity. This guy's been seen in TV. Yeah, so this is a big man coming to school. And honestly, I will tell you for sure, it was hard settling in boarding school.
Because there is expectation that people have.
Yes.
There is what you
had expected
from this environment.
Remember, I'm still expecting the swimming pool.
And those expectations never met.
Yeah, so I did my primary. I actually finished my primary in Ober Boys boarding.
Yeah.
I joined high school now. That was Orero Boys boarding school. Shout out. I know it's a national school.
Yeah.
Nowadays they call it Orero High School. So shout out to my boys who are listening to this podcast. That's where I actually did my high school, and actually that's where my passion for computing did develop.
Yes. Don't brush off. We are here, take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
So you finish primary school. How did you manage to meet these two? And you might assume it, but there are a lot of people who actually, this is their reality as you speak.
100 for sure, yeah.
Around Africa. Because you see, Africa is a dream.
For sure.
It's not yet. We have not woken up. We're in a dream. Yeah. So there's what we want to see. There's what is happening on the ground. There's what we are promised. There's what our leaders tell us. So it's a one big dream in every angle, in every age. Because look, even Kenya has come from, it's just 1 year after election.
Yeah.
There's what people actually expected from the new government.
Yeah.
Now, people are like, this is worse than the dream that we are in. So they're in another dream, expecting for the better.
Exactly.
So what I'm trying to say is that that reality actually sets different knowledge sets for people to, grasp something out of it. So how did you merge the two? The expectation from the students and your expectation from the school, and now even your real brother has lied to you.
Yeah, I mean,
Did you overcome it over time? Or-
definitely.
Yeah.
One thing for sure I have learned in this life: there's nothing permanent
Yeah.
in this life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I definitely did overcome the overwhelming situation that was there at that particular time.
Yeah.
I think at most, for sure, having my bro also in that school did help a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we used to be like two. My bro used to be like my sidekick. So anytime we needed help, I needed help with something, he's always gonna show up for me. So life wasn't that bad at that particular time. And yeah, definitely. I mean, yes, there was the expectation that I did have,
Yeah.
but over time, I did have to accept the reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, of I had to accept the reality of what life gives you.
Yeah. And use
what
it.
you're dreaming.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, and what's just reality by itself. So I did settle in. I think 3 months in,
Yeah.
I just settled into the system, and honestly, looking back, it was actually a good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how did you perform in primary school?
Well, here's the thing. I'm not a bookwormer. I'm more a logical person, or I'm one person who likes using knowledge and putting it into practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for sure, the African system, rather, when you go to school, you are kind of set to do certain subjects. So for sure, I did not get an A. I think, no, we didn't have grades in primary, did we?
We did.
We did. Oh yeah, I think, yeah, we did. Actually, we did. Yes. So I wasn't an A student. I was an average student.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but for sure, if you're listening to this and you are finding yourself in that level, don't pressure yourself.
It's gonna be okay.
Don't pressure yourself.
It's not about
for
the A, B, C, D,
No.
and up to E.
It's about the
It's
skill.
about you.
It's about the skill that you get when you're in class. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but just straight to it, I did score enough to take me to high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this means maybe you did not drop your adolescence approach to life.
Well, I mean, you see, for sure, just never skip anything that comes through your life. Yeah. If you are meant to be an adolescent at that particular time, just act it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, for sure, there's gonna come a time when it's gonna be past you.
Yeah.
You don't want to be 30 and you're acting as an adolescent. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I did take it in the way it came. Yeah. I did play the role as it came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, very nice. So you joined Orero.
High School.
One and only.
Yes, the lion
I hear
never
that name.
sleeps.
That's the
That's
motto.
the name. Yeah, that's the motto. Yeah.
Oh, the lion never. So
The lion
Orero is
never
it's a Luo name, right?
Honestly, I do not know.
It
Because I
sounds
think,
like,
I honestly don't. Because I think when you used to go to Funkies at some point, I used to put swag in the name. Yeah. So I will be like Inorero High School. I think that time also the Oreo biscuit had just came out. So it'll be like, I'm in Inorero. Like when you say Inorero, sounds like Lenana or the big schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at that time when I joined, it was actually a secondary school. Struggling, but for sure, the guys who are living, who are in that school right now, they're living the life.
Oh,
yeah, I've seen
so
it.
you guys really set out, some good.
We build up the foundation for where the school is right now.
Ah, very nice, very nice. So you joined the school. What was that experience? Did you get monolization? Did you get monolized?
Yeah, I mean, no, I did not. I wasn't bullied in high school. And I feel also coming from a boarding school into another boarding school, of course, most high schools in Kenya usually go through the boarding system. The fact that I did have the experience first, no one will bully me. Okay. And then the way the school was actually known for discipline. Yeah. We did have a guy called William Oluchi was the deputy principal at that particular time. He speaks less. And trust me, for sure, you going out on expulsion, suspension was something that could happen in a second when you're in his office. Actually, when you're somewhere in his office, two things, either bad news or good news.
Which means you can be expelled.
Anytime.
And good news is?
Good news could be like your father sent you money for transport.
They used to send to the principal.
Of course. Guys from Nairobi,
Guys from Nairobi.
Because, it's another 6-hour drive from the school back to home.
Yeah. So how was this school set up? Like, you said it was secondary school. Right now,
Yeah.
people are living large.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, so by that, for sure, the infrastructure that I got when I joined the school was way different
Okay.
to how things are right now.
Yeah.
I think the in my early the form 1, our structures were actually built out of clay. Yeah, that was not even stone.
So it was more of a community.
Yeah, the school was more like a
of-
community-based school in a center. Even the kind of meals they will prep for us, the normal githeri, that's what githeri and uji will be our staple
That
diet.
is maize and beans mixed together.
And then they'll sift the maize and add sugar with water and cook something called porridge. Yeah, so there was that.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, honestly, I mean, the school, again, school is all about knowledge, yeah? The rest is by the way, yeah? But for sure, we did have enough room to sleep. The dormitories were fine. Our bathrooms were not that fancy. It was just an open air market. Just go take your trough, fetch some water and pour it on yourself. The rest, you just figured out the way it was. But I know right now the infrastructure is amazing. The kind of facilities that they have, what they are served. I mean, all you just need to worry about is books.
So what really made you perform really well?
Well, for sure, again, Mike, my background, I didn't come from a fancy family. We were not that rich. I think we were mid-size, how do you call it?
Middle class.
Middle class, exactly.
Middle class is okay, kaka.
It's katikati.
The country we're in here, there's I guess I heard and he told me that they by 2027 or something,
they
want to be middle income country. And you can see what we already have here, but they're not already middle income.
Yeah.
By 2050, they want to be high income country.
Yes.
So middle class is okay, but of course I know what you mean. Like it's not like too fancy or privileges.
You're in between.
Yeah.
And the problem about in between is you can fall either way.
Yeah.
So you can
just
fall on poverty.
one salary away from poverty.
Yes. And you're also one salary away from being rich.
Yes.
Yeah. So there was that. And also like my background growing up, I feel like that also like shaped me for who I am in life. Even me going through school.
Yeah.
I feel like if I went to how do you call them? The group of schools or something, I probably would have turned out differently,
McKinney, Brookhouse, Paone, and the rest.
Because where I went in school, it was all about survival for the fittest. So you fight for your own. It's like literally what you call what do you call it? The jungle, the animal kingdom.
The man for himself and God for us.
Exactly. Yeah, the animal kingdom. So you fight for your own. Yeah. So
Shamba la wanyama.
Ndio hivyo. So that was high school for me.
So do you ever missed lunch because maybe you got late or something happened?
Oh, for sure, 100%. It's not even being late. We will actually queue. At this time, the school I think had a population of about 2,000 people. Zero grazing, I think, in about, if that was a lot, probably 7 hectares of land. But 2K students. So
a lot,
it was taking in, again, discipline and performance made it reputable for people to come from different parts of the country and come study there.
Yeah.
But you will actually go queue and they will tell you the food is over. So
until next time.